Yeah. Pardon? Okay, all right. So now it works. Right? I believe some of you have used WakeGo before, right? Was it? Okay, so fortunately, I was able to start the WebGo server. Okay. Well, actually, the server has already started. I just used the web browser to connect to the server. However, the traffic actually is monitored by Paros over here. Okay, so if you go to Paros and click on this, you can see all the web traffic, the contents of the web traffic. Okay, by doing that, you can actually do some kind of injection or observe the plain text in the web traffic. You can do all kind of tricks in class, okay, and all in one machine. So you can give every student one virtual machine, and then they can connect to the web server, and then they can monitor the web traffic just in one machine. So you won't have security concern about students monitoring somebody else's web traffic, right? And then we can do that in an isolated security lab, which is very important for us, okay, because we don't want students to monitor somebody else's web traffic. Okay. All right, and then so I'm just going to demo some very basic functions of a WebGo. As you can see here, okay, sorry. As you can see here, once I start WebGo, okay. Okay, WebGo actually is quite convenient. It has a lot of exercise implemented already, right? As you can see on the left-hand side. So, for example, if you click on injection flows, you can see a lot of common injection flows that we have discussed. Okay, over here, such as SQL injection, and then all different types of SQL injection, right? So basically, we use some of them in the class, and some of them are more complicated. And we usually show something that's simpler to start with, and then give the rest for the students as project if they want to do something additional to the simple ones. Okay, so let me show one of the very simple WebGo demonstration called SQL injection, string SQL injection. Okay, so basically, this example shows that you have a website, right, that asks you to enter your username, sometimes password, so that you can access your data in a database, right? So, but SQL injection basically exploit that flow if you don't do a boundary check on the input condition, as it shown here. You can actually inject something tricky. So, for example, if you do something like this, I'm searching for my name, and then, or 1 equal to 1, which is you can list all the data in the database, right? So, for example, if you select something from the database where the last name is Chen, or 1 equal to 1, the where condition is always true. So when you do that, and if somebody developed a web server which didn't do a check on the SQL command, you will end up with.
You have to restart the lesson?
No, I just press go. Oh, okay, I have to restart the next one.
There's a link in the upper right that says restart lesson.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Right.
Oh, restart this lesson. Thank you very much. I try it before I come to the presentation. Make sure that it really works. Okay. Okay, so if I do that. Okay. So you would get all the names and data in that particular table. So this is one very simple trick that we show in the security exercise. Usually we have, in a class like this, usually we give about 2 hours lectures and talks about web security, and then give students some review about SQL commands, all right? So make sure that they have enough foundation to understand why this is a vulnerability, okay? And then we give them like an hour or hour and a half to do this kind of exercise, all right? And usually we give them step-by-step instructions, and then at the end of semester, we will assign students to do a project so they can decide to expand from here or do something else that's related. Okay, and then the next thing I would like to show is something called cross-site scripting, just to give you a very simple ideas about how does that work. And then, so if you are students in a classroom, it will probably won't take you too much time to do that. However, that gets you into some thinking about, okay, what's going on here, and then what have I to learn in order to understand it. So for example, for cross-site scripting, you really have to understand something about JavaScript, and you have to understand about web server administration. So cross-site scripting, and then, okay, I'm going to show this thing called store cross-site scripting. Maybe I should restart this lesson as well. Okay, so for example, if this actually shows an example for example, either a news group or a site which you can post your messages, or such as sites on e-commerce websites which you can post messages and somebody else can click on the messages. So the attacker can actually tailor the message in a way that redirect your command to a different website, a malicious website, which leads you to do something else. You think that's a genuine website. So what I'm going to try here is Owasp testing. Okay, suppose that I'm posting a message here, and then and the message is actually written in JavaScript. And that takes a little bit of time to tie it up. Okay, and then if somebody actually click on this message, you can actually redirect this the message to a different website or show something else. And here I'm just going to show a warning message to tell them, okay, you are hacked or something, and then so the users or students will be alert by what they have done. So I'm just going to say you are hack. Okay, so that's basically what I have, script languages, and then JavaScript. All right, okay, that's submitted. Okay, and then this message will show on the message list. Okay, if somebody come across to this message and happen to type on this message, that would actually shows the